Welcome back to Go Figure. Today we are on lesson 46 of Saxon Algebra Half, Order of Operations with Fractions. Our learning objectives today are to incorporate fractions and mixed numbers into the order of operations. So basically, order of operations is the same with fractions and mixed numbers. Unless otherwise indicated, always multiply and divide before adding and subtracting. And then we're just following the same rules that we have been following for fractions and mixed numbers. Here's our first example. So we have three fractions here and operations of addition and division. So we're going to want to do that division first. And of course, when we're dividing fractions, we need to actually change it to a multiplication of the inverse. So I'm going to rewrite this in our first step. 3 over 20 stays the same. And then add 3 halves. And then we're going to multiply by 2 over 5. Then we're going to handle our multiplication first, and we can do some cancellation here with the 2's. So I'm going to cross that out. Those are both 1's. So now we have 3 times 1 in our numerator. So I'll put 3 there, and 1 times 5 in our denominator. So that multiplies out to 3/5. And then we can add our 3/20. And remember, in order to add fractions, we need to have common denominators. So our least common denominator here would be 20. So we have 3/20 plus 12/20. And so we have 3 plus 12, which equals 15. 15/20, and we always want to reduce our fraction to lowest terms, so this could actually be reduced to 3/4. All right, example number 2. We have multiplication here, so we want to do that first. So my 5/7 is going to stay the same. When you're writing out these problems, just be sure that you're copying down your problem and doing all these steps. We can actually do some cancellation between the 10 and 4 here. We can factor out a 2, so that becomes 2. This becomes 5. Now we have 1 times 2 in our numerator, and then 5 times 5 in our denominator. So now we have, so that's 2 over 25. Now we have 5/7 minus 2/25. Now we need a common denominator here, which, let's see, that is going to be, we'll just have to multiply 7 and 25 to get a common denominator. So let's do this. 7 times 25. Would be 175. So we are multiplying by 25 here. 5 times 25 is 125. And then we're multiplying by 7 for this fraction. So we'll have 14 over 175. And now we can subtract our fractions. 125 minus 14 is 111. And then over 175. All right, that's it. So here are some practice problems to try on your own. Go ahead and pause the video, and then we'll check your answers when you're ready. Okay, first problem. We need to multiply these fractions first. Multiplication comes before addition or subtraction when we're simplifying. So I'm going to keep my 9/7 and subtract. And there's no cancellation that we can do. So we multiply our numerators. 3 times 5 is 15. And then 7 times 2 is 14. Now to subtract these fractions, we need common denominators. A common denominator will be 14. So this will be 18 over 14 because we're multiplying by 2 over 2. Minus 15 fourteenths. 18 minus 15 is 3. And our denominator is 14. So 3 fourteenths. All right, here we have mixed numbers. So before we do anything, we want to change both of these mixed numbers to improper fractions. So here we would have 5 times 4 is 20 plus 1 is 21 fifths. Plus, here we have 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So 7 thirds. And then we're multiplying by 5. And I'm going to actually change this to 5 over 1 just to make the multiplication easier because we want to multiply this before we add. So 7 times 5 is 35. 3 times 1 is 3. And then we're adding our 21 fifths. Now we need common denominators between 5 and 3, so that would be 15. So that means our first fraction we're multiplying by 3 over 3. So that's going to be 63 over 15. Plus our second fraction we're multiplying by 5 over 5 to get that common denominator of 15. And then 35 times 5 is 25. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Okay, and then we can add our numerators. 63 plus 175. Okay, there's an 8 there. 6 plus 7 is 13. 1 plus 1 is 2. 238 over 15. And we do not need to change this back into a mixed number. We can keep this just as is. All right, in summary, the order of operations. Simplify within your symbols of inclusion first. We didn't have any of those today, but if you did, parentheses and brackets come first. And then multiply and divide from left to right. Add and subtract in order from left to right. And you can keep your answers in improper form. That's totally fine. If you put it back in a mixed number, that would be fine too. Okay, so your assignment is to do problem set 46 and then read lesson 47 in your textbook. That's all for now. See you next time.